You know, in college, it isn't all that rare to see role players become stars. Outside of the teams loaded with one-and-done guys, this happens a lot with seniority and experience guys get. I've seen Tyler Zeller go from a bench player as a freshman at North Carolina to the ACC Player of the Year as a senior. I've seen Malcolm Brogdon go from being a largely off-ball cutter as a freshman to being Virginia's best player in his senior season. It happens when elite players get the feel of the collegiate game. Brogdon and Zeller were great, but I remember being distinctly impressed with how quickly Tyler Ulis went from being an afterthought to the Harrison Twins at Kentucky to being the SEC Player of the Year in the span of just one season. Sure, he was a big name as a recruit, but for his numbers to double or triple across the board with only 10 extra minutes per game, that's crazy. Or rather, I thought that was crazy until I saw it happen again this year. And honestly, this one may be a more impressive rise. Meet Dereon Seabron, former role player, now star for NC State. Seabron spent most of his redshirt freshman season as an afterthought to seniors Devon Daniels and Braxton Beverly at the off-guard spot. Daniels led the team in scoring, and Beverly proved to be a three-point spark off the bench throughout his career in Raleigh. With only 17 minutes on the floor each night, Seabron averaged about 5 points and 4 rebounds a game. Heading into the current season, he wasn't talked about as much more than a role player. The focus for NC State was on star big man Manny Bates and his return from injury, their 4-star freshman scoring machine Terquavion Smith, and the improvement they might see from point guard Cam Hayes. Things seemed to be looking up, until, in the first minute of the season, Bates dislocated his injured shoulder. In short, there were a lot of groans throughout PNC Arena, as State's seemingly best hope at a good season was gone within 45 seconds. How are they going to replace a guy expected to average north of 15 points and 10 rebounds a game for them? Well, the answer came pretty quickly, and from a guard of all people. Dereon Seabron finished that first game with 18 points and 11 rebounds to seal the victory for the Wolfpack. He followed it up with a 21-point, 10-rebound performance in the next game, and then a 24.9 rebound outing after that. It looked like State had someone they could look to when Smith wasn't scoring well, but when December 1st rolled around, Seabron proved he was much more than that. In a quadruple overtime thriller against Nebraska where both teams saw multiple ejections and foul-outs, Seabron racked up a 39-point, 18-rebound night to carry NC State to victory. It was the first game of its kind in the ACC since Bryce Johnson's 39-point, 23-rebound outing while at UNC. Since then, Seabron has widely been regarded as one of the best players in the ACC and a possible first-round draft choice for the right team. So given the hype and unique circumstances of his story, as well as the fact that he's averaging 20 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals a game, let's take a look at what he brings on the court. Simply put, Seabron is a big guard. At 6'7", he's very much a plus-size primary ball handler at the collegiate level. While weighing only 185 pounds, he is a bit lean, but his length helps that to not be too much of a disadvantage. Frankly, when you're that much taller and longer than guys you guard while being just as quick, the few extra pounds aren't going to matter much. While a solid ball handler, Seabron doesn't have a whole lot of dribble moves in his arsenal, but rather opts for some nice pump and head fakes. His ultra-quick first step allows him to take advantage of any defenders thrown off balance by his fakes, and a slick Euro step helps him maneuver well around bigs lurking in the paint. He's a pretty acrobatic finisher when bigs do get in the way, using his length and agility to contort around defenders if they prevent the easy bucket. This brute force approach makes him a regular at the free throw line when those shots don't go in as well. For someone who gets to the line as much as he does, you'd like to see Seabron evolve to better than 75% from the stripe, but it's a solid place to start. A concern out of high school was his long-range shooting, and that still holds true. Albeit only attempting 16 threes thus far through 10 games, Seabron is shooting an abysmal 6.3% from deep. He's shown he's capable of turning just about any perimeter touch into a successful drive, but it'd be nice to see him work on a catch-and-shoot game when the defense sags on him. His mechanics aren't that bad, but his shot comes off a bit flat, which makes it much harder to put the ball in the basket from distance. Defensively, Seabron has become a pretty good on-ball stopper, but he's made his mark in the passing lanes with his steals. He averages about 2 a game, most of which result in easy fast break points. As he becomes a better on-ball defender, he won't have to gamble as much on those steal attempts, which should result in him getting beat a little less than he does now. But even so, he's a player opposing teams like to keep their offense away from. When it's all said and done, Seabron has shown he's one of the college elite and ready for the challenge of pro ball. As if he needed more justification, as a guard, he's currently leading the entire ACC conference in rebounds, offensive rebounds, steals, and field goals made. He's the conference's second highest scorer and second highest defensive rebounder. I'm calling it right now. Once he does decide to go pro, Seabron is going to win over a lot of teams on his sheer will and work alone. He's not afraid to put his head down and grind for what he wants. If he keeps that up, the sky's the limit for him.